Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Hunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Welcome you all one more time. It's my pleasure to be here with you and start a new chapter today. So that will be the 7th chapter. We have very successfully completed 6 chapters. We were all in-person classes were going on. We are discussing regarding going back to in-person classes with streaming on Zoom. So that is an idea. We don't know when we're going to start. I will keep you all posted. And very successfully, we have completed 6th chapter, which means we have completed 1/3 of Gita. So Gita, some of the Mahatmas would split that into a set of 6 chapters because there is something called Mahavakya. Mahavakya, translates literally to great aphorism or saying, but that connects, that shows the oneness of Swarupa, that shows the oneness in terms of the Swarupa, not Rupa. Rupas are different. Swarupa, between Jiva and even Ishvara. So, one such Mahavakya, which is very popular, is what? Tat Tvam Asi. You are that. Thyself in reality is Paramatma. Your Jivatma, Bhagavan, Ishvara is Paramatma. The Paratvam of Ishvara has to include you. Paratvam is limitlessness. So Bhagavan's limitlessness, would it exclude you or include you? It would include you. And would you remain as a part? If you remain as a part, then it amounts to Bhagavan being all parts put together. It would be as if Bhagavan has no standing of his own and parts are put together. No. You are Swarupataha, not separate from Ishvara himself. So there's no part business. Bodies can be many. They can all together form the part of Ishvara, Narayana as Virat Purusha. Minds of many. But in reality, there is oneness. Just like the spark of a fire can be a very small speck. But is it different from the fire? Is it a part of the fire? The answer is no for both questions. Why? Because who knows, that big fire from which this spark is coming forth might have been initiated by just a spark. A spark might have been the cause even for the big fire. So why would you say this spark as only a tiny, miny, puny part of the fire? No. So in terms of fireness, both the spark and the huge conflagration is all the same. In terms of fireness, right? In terms of waterness, the waves and the ocean are one and the same. So this is what I meant by oneness. So the Mahavakyas show this. In the Veda, the Mahavakyas show this. So Tattva-tvamasi is one such Mahavakya. So Mahatmas say the first 6 chapters of Gita or talking regarding the Tvam Pada, which is thyself, yourself in reality. That is why you saw the first 6 chapters dealing with karma as a sadhana, karma yoga as a means, as an instrument, right? As a tool. Then the 6th chapter also talked regarding dhyanam as a mean for understanding our reality, right? Tvam pada. This should be very clear. This Tvam pada, this thyself, who is just identifying with this body, your I-ness, which is only located in the body for yourself at this point. Its reality is consciousness. In consciousness, in awareness, in that awareness, body is there, mind is there. In your awareness, body is there, mind is there, mind's thoughts are there, sukha, dukkha, all those feelings are there. All these are there in your consciousness. All these are there in your consciousness, and the sukha, dukkha experiences and all that, even if you go analyze them, what will come out, it will all resolve into consciousness. So that is why that consciousness is common. So that is you. You are the one who is lending your consciousness to the thoughts and making them real, making them live. So that is you, even more than the mind and its thoughts. That being the case, that was the subject matter of the first chapter. I'm saying this because this clarity has to be there regarding who you are just by yourself. And then the next 6 chapters, starting from the 7th chapter onwards, the topic is Ishvara. Very interesting topic, right? For all of us, devotees of Bhagavan. For us, Ishvara is a great topic. So this 7th chapter onwards, the topic would be Ishvara. And then, so why Upasya Vishayam? Ishvara is the Upasya Vishayam. He is the one who is to be sought. Come on. Come on. Yes. Do me a favor. In the fan, you please put it here and then start it. It's a little hot. Start for yourself. I'm okay with me.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Just. Perfect. Yeah. So, please sit. I said, send you a message also because of the last minute change. Yeah.
Right.
Just put it. Then you can all nicely sit. Yeah. So we are in Swamiji's room back, and we have visitors from Ellicott City. Yeah. One letter. Good. That's good, ma. If you want anything to put down. So I cannot see Shrestha. You have to come on one side. Sorry about the computer hiding. Yeah. So we are starting 7th chapter, new chapter. So that's why I'm just giving some introduction. And I'll also cover a few verses. So here, this is the Tattvadartham, 7th chapter onwards regarding Ishvara. And look at this 6th chapter, the last sloka, one of the last sloka, where Bhagavan is saying it's a chapter of dhyana meditation. And meditation is always an transitive verb. To meditate means you need an object. You cannot meditate without an object. So Bhagavan says, I am the object of meditation. In the last sloka in the 6th chapter. Yoginam api sarvesham adgatena antaratmana Shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamo mataha. 6th chapter. So then that means what? When Bhagavan is the object, Bhagavan has to clarify himself for us. So that way we'll be able to properly understand Ishvara and also be able to, meditate on Ishvara without any other problems. Otherwise, mind is very smart. Otherwise, it always finds something better. So Bhagavan has to present himself as the best in this chapter. Then only the mind can remain. So that is the task of Bhagavan in the next 6 chapters. And Bhagavan Katham Madgatena Antaratmana and Madgatena Antaratmana. So Bhagavan has to present himself and also he should show the way how to we to be focused on connect to Bhagavan in all our transactions. So that is the topic here. And so the sloka I'll repeat. I'll say you can repeat after me. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya Saktamana Partha Yogam Junjan Madashrayah Asam Shayam Samagram Mam Yata Jnasyasi Tat Shunu. So Bhagavan is saying, so when it comes to talking regarding Bhagavan, who can say the best? Suppose if I have to come to Rolling Way, right? Rolling Brook Way. I forgot the number. So if I had to come there, you have to give me the direction because there are 2 ways to come to your place, right? So you have to give the best way. One is Swamiji won't like that way. It is so going circuit. I like that way, but Swamiji doesn't like that way. Goes up and down. Other is the 2 more lights. You have to come a little bit around. Swamiji likes the straight, always the smooth way. So likewise here, Bhagavan only can talk about Bhagavan. So that is why it's Bhagavan Vacha. For a devotee, best to hear from another devotee or from Bhagavan himself. So the Pradhanta is regarding the Vakta, one who is going to say, here Bhagavan is speaking. And he's calling Arjuna what? Hey Partha. Pa. Pa is to protect. Okay. Pa is to protect. And here Pa is also a short form for Parameshvara. A short form. So Parameshvara Eva Artha. Artha is what? One of the Purushartha. And one of the Artha is wealth. So for who? Bhagavan is the wealth. Arjuna, Bhagavan is the wealth. Do you agree? Because he gave up what did he give up? All his for Bhagavan's, he said, Bhagavan, I don't need your forces, I only need you, right? So that is beautifully the word Partha. It's one of the derivations we can do. Partha means Prutu Putra. Pruta Putra. Pruta is name for Kunti. That is a proper derivation. But Mahatma, Sakandanji also makes this trick. Saying Pa is for Parameshvara and Artha is for the wealth. For the one for who Bhagavan is the only wealth. Okay. So Mai, I'm just rearranging the words in the shloka. Mai is Bhagavan, is in me. It's the seventh case. In me. In who? In Bhagavan. What kind of Bhagavan? Parameshwara. Who is going to be told in the rest of the chapter and in the next 5 chapters. That Bhagavan. And who is the one who's giving us all the results of our karma. Good karma, good result. Karma itself cannot give us results. Somebody has to execute the result, right? So if you do your project very well, you have to have a supervisor who can say, well done, my boy, right? If you dance very well, somebody has to say, well done. So dance itself will not come and say, hey, you did very well, right? So likewise, karma itself cannot give the result. Ishvara has to give it. So that is the Ishvara Bhagavan is going to talk about. And also, is the one who is giving the reality to everything. He's the substantial. And everything is borrowing substance from Bhagavan. Like gold is the substantial. The real substance is gold. Necklace, ring, bangle, everything borrows substance from gold. Right? So that is how Bhagavan is. He's a real substance. Solid substance is Bhagavan. Everything else borrows its existence from Bhagavan. That Bhagavan we're going to say. And who is also is the Adhisthana. Without Bhagavan, without the substance, nothing is possible, right? Without water, there's no ocean, there's no waves. Right? Without, what else can we say? Without fireness, there's no fire. Likewise, that is Bhagavan. So we have to see Bhagavan in that way by understanding all these verses. Then what happens? Asakta manaha, your mind. Asakti is, your mind is well connected, associated. Your mind becomes so well associated. Manaha is mind. Asakti is, Sakti, Shakti, But here it is not Shakti, it is what? Sakti. And Sakti also not ordinary Sakti. Asakti means nicely, connecting to Bhagavan. That mind can be really connected to Bhagavan only when we know Bhagavan in his entirety. And now, this mind, when you want to, mind has to have Bhagavan as an object of focus, then what happens? All the other objects which are taking you helter-skelter here and there, which are throwing you off, those objects are not going to affect you. That is why it is Mai Asakta Mana. That mind which is having the association with Ishvara in terms of all these verses. So the Vishaya Asakta will be less. When Bhagavat Asakta grows, Vishaya Asakta, the situations won't bother us so much. You will be a very composed person. You'll be a little cheerful person even when it comes to difficulties. And even in failures, we learn, we make progress. It doesn't make us depressed or dejected. So all these are because of what? Bringing some faith, some Shraddha, some Ishvara in us. More we bring in, more it works on us, right? That is what Pujya Swamiji says, bringing in more Ishvara. For that we need no Ishvara. So that is the topic here. Maya Sakta Manaha. Then, how do you associate with Bhagavan? You have to take up to yoga. Yoga is, we know the physical yoga, but here yoga is either Karma Yoga or Dhyana Yoga, any one of the yoga, Bhakti Yoga. We are taking up to all these things. You all come here all the way to seek some knowledge, some Jnana Yoga. You spend time in the temple because you're a devotee of Ishvara. So some Bhakti Yoga is also there. And when you drive, when you come, you pray to Bhagavan, everything goes fine and all that. Let my karma be very fruitful. Karma Yoga is also there. And some Ishvara from all the results, right? So everything is there. So this is how we have to be connected to this yoga to be able to have Bhagavan with us all the time. That is Yogam Yunjan. Yunjan is to be, connected to yoga again. By practice only. Abhyasa. It is not easy. I mean, it all comes by practice. How will Bhagavan become so big for us compared to other things? Only by practice. How will exams become so big for us? Exams was not a real big thing for you when you were kindergarten, right? It was nothing. Why is everybody so worried, you would think, in your first grade, second grade, third grade? It was not so important for you. Then slowly it builds up. The importance of exam builds up on you slowly, and now you're more tense than your parents when it comes to exam. So how did it build up over time, right? Likewise, yoga also regarding Bhagavan, connecting to Bhagavan, it builds over time. So Yogam Yunjan, but we have to give it always a try and bring Bhagavan in terms of all the other verses. And Madashraya. Taking Ashraya, the word means refuge. So ornament, all the ornaments take refuge in gold, right? So there's nothing really, ornament is just a name and form. It takes refuge in gold. The weight of the ornament is weight of gold, right? So all these things, Swamiji, Puja Swamiji, and you cannot imagine even a golden ornament without gold. So what I'm trying to say is, so Ashraya for all the objects is, in reality, Bhagavan Ishvara. Like gold is the Ashraya for everything, right? So that we have to have Bhagavan as Ashraya. Swami Akhandanji is giving a beautiful example. Suppose if you are working for a company, say, your Ashraya, your refuge, your income, everything, you are running your family because of what you get paid, right? So your Ashraya is your boss and your job. But your Asakti, because we saw the word Asakta Manaha, right? Where is your Asakti? Asakti is towards family. I love my family, and the person loves his family, so he works hard for someone else. So he can spend time on himself and his family back. So here the Asakti is with the family and your own self, your body, mind. Whereas you are sweating it out for who? For someone else, right? So here Bhagavan says, may your ashraya also be me. So let me be the real substance which you use for yourself, for your progress, spiritual progress, and for your all kinds of progress, material progress also. And may your asakti also, your love also may it be for me. It is easily said than done. Bhagavan is not going to be very unreasonable, because we love people who we see, who we talk and all that, right? So Bhagavan is going to make Bhagavan himself real for us. Just like you are real for me, I am real for you. Bhagavan is going to make real. Then we can do something about it, right? So that's the goal here. So Madashraya. Then what? Mam Samagram. These are the words from the verses. So Bhagavan is saying, I'm going to shunu. You listen to me, Bhagavan is going to say, about myself. And Mam Samagram. I will give in entirety. I won't hide anything about myself. Some people have this, they hide their wealth, they hide their talent sometimes. They don't show it everywhere. They hide everything. Bhagavan says, I'll give everything. I'll open myself up. I'll become an open book for you. And you will come to know everything about me. Because when you know something, you have to know in entirety. Otherwise, what will be there? Doubts will be there. So Bhagavan is saying, Mam Samagram Yata Asamshaya. So you don't have any doubt. Samshaya is doubt. Shaya is to sleep. Shin Dhatu, to sleep. So Samshaya means those are the areas which is grey for you. There are too many grey areas, too many dark areas. You don't feel like venturing into that project, right? So this project of understanding Bhagavan, if you want to venture, Bhagavan has to clarify all the doubts in these verses. He's got another so many verses to do that for us. Yata Jnasyasi Tat Shunu. May you, I will tell you. Because when this is all there, Bhagavan cannot say, go and seek. He's saying, you listen to me, Shunu, I'm going to tell you everything. So the kind of kindly Bhagavan is going to lead the way, so we can know about Bhagavan's strengths, Bhagavan's mental strength, physical strength, and Bhagavan's presence in everything, in the ocean, in all the nature, entire nature, and Bhagavan's vibhuti, in how to accomplish this kind of steadiness of thought in Ishvara, even while you're doing everything. Because the asakta is only for mind. It is not asakta for you to, it is for the mind. That means what? You'll be performing what you're doing right now, but your mind will be associated with these kinds of thoughts which are going to sail you past all your difficulties, spiritually, materially, and it will make you play your role perfectly. Ultimately, other than role playing, Puja Swami's message is what? To be able to play a role wonderfully. So that's the goal for Bhagavan. So you can be connected at the same time, excel in your performance. So I'll read Puja Swamiji's translation. Sri Bhagavan said, with the mind committed to me by taking to yoga and having surrendered to me, please listen to the way in which you will now meditate without any doubt. You will know me without any doubt. Sorry, not you will know me without any doubt. This is Puja Swami's translation. So we'll go to the next verse. I have this is going to be a shorter class today, so we're going to be finishing in like another 10, 12 minutes. Then I'll quickly jump to the Zoom. Yeah, I'll be the Bhagavad. Bhagavatam, some stories are coming this time. Vidura and all those stories are coming. So next verse, what is that? The Bhagavan is continuing how he is going to present himself for the devotees. Jnanam teham savijnanam. Jnanam teham savijnanam. Jnanam is there, vijnanam is there. Both words are there. We'll see the difference. And idam vakshyam yaseshatah. Idam vakshyam yajñātva neha bhūyonyat. Jnātavyamavasishyate. I'll split it and you will be able to see all the different words. So Bhagavan here is saying aham, is talking aham. Bhagavan is saying I. Te is also there. Te, Tubhyam, for you, idam, this, this I'm going to say. This what? This jnanam, this knowledge. But this knowledge which is along with the vijnanam, savijnanam, that is also there, along with vijnanam. So vijnanam in our regular translation, in Tamil, vijnanam will be what? Science. So jnanam, they don't say science. Vijnanam, they say science, right? So here vijnanam is with all the specialities. Knowledge which will be real for you. It will not just stay in the Shastra. It will become you, that kind of a knowledge. Like if a guru teaches the Sishya, so jnanam is one thing, understanding. But vijnanam is, have you understood that as good as your teacher? That is vijnanam. Home science is jnanam. There's a subject called home science. In India also there's there. But what is vijnanam? Vijnanam is, after studying home science, are you able to make dosa as good as your mom? Okay. That is vijnanam. Are you able to manage coffee, tea, and snacks and everything at the same time, keep the house clean and everything? This is vijnanam, right? So that way, making the knowledge work for you, that is vijnanam. And they don't have to wait. Along with the knowledge, when it comes to yourself, knowledge and jnanam and vijnanam can happen together, provided we pay attention to our guru and follow his instructions and everything, and be around with him. Like I was with Swami Pratyek. So there it was a lot of vijnanam only. Pure now, a lot of vijnanam. Swami used to teach me a lot, but looking at him, seeing him, when he comes, how he conducts himself, all that, how he is so smiling all the time, right? So those things are the thing that is vijnanam. It connects, it comes to us also a little bit. Every devotee gets that as a prasad. You will see that in your life also. You'll see the difference. Now you come here. One of the reasons you have come to ashram is to also come and see Swamiji's room, right? So you will see that that prasada will be there. So that prasada is vijnana, speciality of that Mahatma. So that if you are doing medicine, very tough. So if you're doing medicine, I don't know, children when they say very tough, some children want to do it. So then jnanam is whatever you study for MD. Vijnanam is residency. So, but here it can all go together. So that is the jnanam and vijnanam. Then Bhagavan says in this sloka, aseshatah vakshyami. Last sloka I said, without any doubt, I'll tell you. This sloka says, without leaving any stone unturned. Everything will be clarified for you. Vakshyami, I'm going to say. He's saying, don't think this is it. It's going to be coming. Vakshyami is future tense. So that is what Bhagavan is saying. Completely, I'll tell you. And what is the effect? Yajñātva. This yajñātva becomes yajñātva. You were thinking about when you said yajñātva mokshyase, yajñātva neha bhuyonyate. Yajñātva, if you split, it will be yadñātva. So, knowing this knowledge, this jnātva, knowing this, here in this world, it may be a college life, family life, professional life, life of a child, life of a parent, in this world, bhuyaha, in this world again, there will not remain anything for you to know. Jnātavyam na avasishyate, in this world. Anyate, there will not be anything left for you to know. Is it possible for you to know one thing and that thing, that knowledge is good enough for everything? Suppose if it is the knowledge of how to be happy, would it work for all knowledge?
Yeah.
It will work for all knowledge, but it may not be equivalent to learning all knowledge, right? But won't it make it a cakewalk? Life or entire life. So likewise, for example, if you have the knowledge, suppose there is one pot, small pot made of clay, and then there's a huge pot made of clay, and then there's a spoon also made of clay. Then there is a plate, also all these different objects, all made of clay. this small pot is so intimidated by all the other things. My God, this pot is so huge. Where was it born? So huge. I don't know how I'm going to confront this pot, big pot. This spoon, I don't know why it's got a strange shape. I'm looking like this, but this is looking so tall. So if it's now, what is that one knowledge which is required for this small pot to know, to be fearless, to be happy, to be content, is the knowledge of the oneness, which is in terms of clay. That is what is also made of clay. I'm also made of clay. And that pot, big pot, is as fragile as the fragility knowledge comes only when you know it is clay. Right? Otherwise, this kid, what would he do? If it's a nice pot and they have colored it, painted it so well like a plastic, and this kid will start throwing it, and then it will fall. Then it will realize it is after effect. Too late, right? Wow, come. So we don't want that, right? So that is the knowledge. That is the knowledge of, which is Bhagavan is going to give, which will make you understand all knowledge. So then they won't be remaining anything. Avasishyate, jnatavyam na avasishyate. They will not remain anything to know. Okay. So this is this second verse. So what Bhagavan is trying to do, by my knowledge, Bhagavan is saying, by my knowledge, I will make you know something which is as good as knowing everything. As good as knowing everything. Okay, in the sense, you will not worry about that thing. You will go and cheerfully pick it up and study knowledge. So that knowledge, Bhagavan, that is what is the goal here. So then this knowledge is not easy. It is durlabham. It is difficult. Why? Because not many people put effort. That is all. That is all the reason. If you put an effort in computer engineering for several years, or coming on, so I can see you. So then that becomes easy for you. Java is not easy for everybody, right? So then, but if you put effort, that is the only thing you will be good at. So the tough one, what do you say? The tough goes going. When the going gets tough gets going. Tough gets going. When you confront that, so likewise, everything is a matter of understanding and dwelling in knowledge of Bhagavan. Then it becomes easier. So that is the knowledge. But next shloka only says, I'm not going to deal with the next shloka this time, but I will just read the shloka. Very interesting shloka. Very famous shloka. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam siddhanam kaschin mam veti tatvatah. So this is a very famous shloka because it talks regarding how amongst thousands and thousands of people, only few people put some effort. And among those thousands and thousands of people, only a few people make it. So why Bhagavan is saying not to threaten us, this is so hard. Bhagavan is creating more interest in you. Bhagavan, now you're all eyes are open. What is that? Which only a few people try. I want to try that only, right? So that kind of an interest, to create the interest, this other shloka is there. And before that, I'll just translate the previous shloka. Jnanam teham savijnanam. I will teach you without any omission. Bhagavan is saying this knowledge along with immediate knowledge. Vijnanam, Swamiji is translating as immediate knowledge, which is knowledge of yourself, owning of that knowledge. Knowing which there remains nothing to be known. That is the last translation. For this Manushyanam Sahasreshu, translation is, among thousands of people, a rare person makes an effort for moksha. Among those seekers making effort, only a rare person comes to know me in reality. Bhagavan is saying in reality. So just to inspire to take up to this, a study of Gita. So with this, I appreciate you all coming, and there are we have people online, devotees listening also. They've been patiently waiting. Thank you all. We'll quickly, conclude this and jump to our Bhagavatam, with some stories and all that between Vidra and Vidra's story. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you. See you soon.